India Magazine. You're watching the weekly roundup where you will find the top stories in the data and analytics ecosystem. So let's get started. Sony has shared a statement saying that it will be suspending all software and hardware sales in Russia due to its recent and ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Sony's move comes after numerous gaming companies condemned the invasion and pulled sales from Russia. Epic Games, CD Projekt Red, EA, Microsoft, Take-Two, Ubisoft and many more have announced similar suspensions in the last 1 week. Alphabet's DeepMind has collaborated with the University of Venice, the University of Oxford and the Athens University of Economics and Business to build a deep neural network called Ithaka, which is able to restore missing text from ancient texts. In a paper published in Nature, DeepMind stated that Ithaka was trained using natural language processing to not only recover ancient text that has been damaged over time, but also identify the original location of the text and establish the date when it was made. UK-based AI computer company Graphcore has announced a new combination chip called BAO, which is the world's first wafer-on-wafer processor. Graphcore claims that the processor will speed up processes like deep learning by 40% and use 16% less energy than previous generation processors. Graphcore has partnered closely with TSMC to make the BAO IPU. A new research paper study shows how to use graph neural networks on biased datasets. The study is called Shift Robust GNNS, overcoming the limitation of localized graph training data. Now the research shows how a new method can measure the distributional differences between biased data and the graph's true inference distribution. The largeness of the shift between two probability distribution also helps account for the amount of bias. Microsoft Research has collaborated with OpenAI to release a paper titled Tensor Programs Week, tuning larger neural networks via zero-shot hyperparameter transfer that describes a technique called U-transfer. This method was proven to make the expensive process of training wide neural networks cost-effective by reducing the amount of trial and error needed. Now, for example, the optimal hyperparameter combination that resulted from this was copied onto GPT-3 6.7 billion parameters. The study demonstrated that the total compute used to tune GPT-3 turned out to be a mere 7% of the compute used to pre-train the model. In its recent conference called Peak Performance, the company launched a new iPad Air claiming it to be the most powerful and versatile Apple Air ever. Now the device features the breakthrough M1 chip, ultra-fast 5G and new front camera with center stage. Secondly, a new iPhone SE range was introduced which uses 15 Bionic chip, known for processing intense workloads and depth information with its 6-core CPU. Two new green versions of the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro were also released. A report published by NASSCOM stated that the low-code, no-code market generated around $400 million in revenue during the fiscal year 2021 for Indian IT services providers and startups. Now, the market has been growing at a CAGR of 15% since 2019. The report also projects that the market has the potential to generate revenue between $4 billion and $4.2 billion by 2025. There are currently 150 users in the low-code, no-code market in India, most of which are emerging startups. Kerala Police announced that they will receive training in AI and data analytics with the help from Digital University of Kerala. Now the program called Capacity Building in Responsible Artificial Intelligence and Data Analytics has been specially created for the police department. The first batch of classes will have 15 chosen police officers. The aim is to transform policing and eventually cut down the workload on policemen and also build tools that will help them serve the public more efficiently. Moving on to fundings and acquisitions. Alphabet's Google announced it is acquiring cybersecurity firm Mandiant in an all-cash deal valued at $5.4 billion. Now, Mandiant will be integrated into Google Cloud and offer protection to create an end-to-end security operations suite after the deal is completed. Snowflake, a data cloud company, has signed a definitive agreement to acquire Streamlit, a framework built specially for machine learning and data science team. Now, Streamlit has more than 8 million downloads and over 1.5 million applications have been built using this framework. Now, this strategic acquisition will allow the two companies to unlock the potential of data and make it easier to build applications. That's all for today. Keep watching this space for updates from the industry.